Happy Monday, everyone. This is Martha with Nature Niche, and for this week's topic I'm bringing you another fun amphibian, eastern red-backed salamander. So this species is a thin little salamander that has pretty small legs and feet, and we have some very adorable ones here to share with you today. So this species actually has two different color phases, and we're lucky enough to have one of each to show you. And one of the phases is called red back, and that's the one in front there that has the red-orange stripe down the back to about middle of the tail. And then the darker one is the lead back phase, so no red stripe. It's just sort of a black or dark gray on the back and the sides. And that phase often has tiny scattered white bronze spots, very small. Both species have, I don't know if I can turn this so you can see bellies or not, but they both have white and gray bellies that kind of are a salt and pepper pattern. So I don't know if that worked, or you can see that, but that's to help you tell them apart from the similar four-toed salamander. So those salamanders have bright white bellies with pretty distinct black spots. So another difference between those two species, of course, is the redback salamanders have 5 toes on their hind feet, and let me tell you, those are tiny toes, so good luck counting those. And then only 4 on the four-toed salamander's hind feet. So belly, color, and pattern, toes on the hind feet can help you tell them apart. The redback salamander is common. It has suitable habitat throughout the state, so this is often what you'll find if you're looking under logs and things like that. Its habitat includes, so we can see here, mostly a deciduous forest, but it can also occupy coniferous or mixed coniferous and deciduous forests. They like places with very thick leaf litter and decaying logs. So that's how we found these guys. They were under this log here. It's been pretty dry here in Midland. Leaf litter's pretty dry. I'm sitting on it comfortably, but the log is very moist still. So you'll find them in decaying logs, and they can tolerate a wide range of site conditions, just not really dry sandy soils or areas that flood frequently. Other than that, forested habitat is generally where you can find them. The life history of this particular species, they require moist habitat to keep their skin moist for respiration, because this species of salamander lacks lungs, so they breathe through their skin. So again, as I mentioned when I showed you the eastern newt, it's important if you're going to handle them, make sure your hands are clean, no chemicals on them. Handle them as little as possible. If you can use a glass or plastic clear jar or container, that's best. So this species is completely terrestrial, and it can survive in places with no nearby ponds, wetlands, or other water bodies, unlike most of the other salamander species. So it has no aquatic larval stage. This species breeds in the fall, and then the female lays the fertilized eggs in June in cavities within logs, beneath rocks, or in underground cavities. And she tends to the eggs, so she keeps them moist, protects them from mold and predators. So she'll actually snap and bite at other salamanders that get too close to her eggs. The larval development occurs completely within the egg. So the baby salamanders hatch in August, and they look just like miniature adults. The young can stay with the mother for several days or weeks, and it can take 2 years to reach breeding size for this salamander species. Predators include snakes, birds, and mammals like raccoons, skunks, and opossums, and also large frogs. And this species can drop their tails if threatened by a predator, and the tail keeps wiggling, and that provides a nice distraction from for the salamander to be able to make its escape. And they'll grow a new tail afterwards, and often that tail is lighter in color than the original tail. So that's another reason not to overly handle these guys. You don't want to stress them out to the point that they try dropping their tail to distract you. These guys also play important ecological roles. So they're a food source for those predators I mentioned, but they also eat a large variety of invertebrates. So ants and beetles and spiders and earthworms. Ooh, this one's making an escape. That's okay. He's right by his log. Oh, that was a good jump. Let this one go as well. There they go. Gonna tuck themselves in. So they eat centipedes and millipedes, snails, mites, flies, other insect larvae. And they feed by thrusting their tongues out really quickly to get their prey, and they forage at night, especially after a rainfall. They can be out on the forest floor. These guys actually climb up vegetation too to find insects. And then under leaf litter, you can walk through forests and roll logs over looking for them. So as far as what we can do to help this species, we can keep our forested systems intact and minimize disturbance, or leave the decaying logs and the leaf litter. So don't clean up the forested area or treed area in your yard. Leave the leaf litter, leave the dead branches, leave the logs on the ground. Give them a place so they can forage and they can reproduce. And then also limiting air pollution. Some scientists are thinking that acid rain could increase soil acidity and may eventually adversely impact this particular species. So I hope you enjoyed watching the eastern redback salamanders, and take a look. Maybe you'll find some in your own backyard. Take care.